So there's a lot of capital that's out there, and what's happened is all this capital built up that's been wanting to spend money has gone into real estate. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Well, you're sitting down scratching your head and say, why are home prices going up? Well, because you've been sitting at home for 18 months not doing anything. We understand that there's a lack of housing that was built in the past 5 years, especially in the US, and so now they're trying to catch up. So if everybody's going in there and buying houses, you've got lower interest rates, all of a sudden prices are shooting up. Why? Well, lower interest rates, not enough supply, you got lots of demand, so is housing a good investment? Well, today it is. If you own your own house and somebody was knocking on your door trying to buy it, whatever you paid for it 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago, it's worth substantially more. Well, what happens on a go-forward basis? On a go-forward basis, if you have inflation, which we believe is here now, then your house should be worth more money in 5 years. It has to be, because if it doesn't go 5 years or 10 years even to be worth more money, then it doesn't really play into this inflation game. So there's a lot of money chasing homes. Well, what about apartment blocks? Same thing, so much money chasing apartment blocks, so much money. So what does that mean? Well, a cap rate is what generally everybody thinks about. A cap rate is how you measure whether or not you should be buying an apartment block. Most apartment blocks were being traded at 6%, 5%, 4%, and in bigger communities it was 3%. So that's just a number. So what's happened now? So I bought something for 5%, cap rates have now compressed to 3%, I made money. It's not 2%, it's real money that I made on product. So as long as you have lots of money chasing real estate deals, you're going to make money if you have product. It's very, very, very hard right now to find good product. So even for me, when I'm trying to make some money on product, if I can find some good product, I'm grabbing it, whatever the cost may be. And sometimes if you're a value investor, like I also am, I've been sitting very, very quiet on the sidelines, and as somebody described me as a lonely investor, because there's no such thing as value investment today. If you go into a store today and you want something, you buy it, because somebody else will buy it and pay whatever price there is for that. Rolex watches have gone crazy. Well, why? Because everybody wants a Rolex watch. And as a result, when you look at a Rolex Daytona, for instance, the prices of Rolex Daytonas have increased from, approximately Canadian dollars, $17,000. But if you want to buy a new one, you'd have to buy it from a reseller at 50 grand. Why? Everybody wants one. Not enough supply. The demand is huge. So that's what's happening in the Rolex world, car world. I don't know if you've been in and tried to buy a car, but you have to wait 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months. In Canada, where you were paying $110,000 for a Cadillac Escalade, for instance, to get a new one, it'll cost you 160,000 Canadian. Well, how can that be? How can that be? And you have to wait. You've got chip shortages, you've got shortages in labor, the car dealers can't produce enough cars to meet demand. You want to buy a car, today. If somebody has a $160,000 car, Cadillac Escalade, for instance, and you want it, you're paying $180,000, $190,000. A friend of mine has a new Corvette. He laughs. He says, Rick, he says, I can sell this car for $30,000 more today. Well, why is that? Well, shortages, high demand, kind of sounds like inflation, doesn't it?